What would have happened in the story of One Piece if Katakuri got Kaido's devil fruit? There are a lot of ways this can go, so I'm gonna have like two different what ifs. Let's say he had that devil fruit, so when Luffy was in Whole Cake Island, this is the Katakuri he would have had to deal with. First scenario, which is like pretty boring, when everybody got away, remember when they were running to the ship, Big Mom was chasing behind them, so Katakuri was on the ship already like, hey look, they're probably not gonna get away from Big Mom, but just in case they do, we're here. Look, if he had Kaido's devil fruit, he would have just flew over and blew up the Sunny. It would have not been there no more. And from that point forward, the Straw Hats just have no way out of Whole Cake Island. This is where their journey ends. But I know, that's boring, so let's not use that one. Let's say Luffy doesn't find out what Katakuri's devil fruit is until they get into the mirror world and he challenges this dude to a 1v1. Now, the first thing to notice is that Luffy probably is just not gonna be able to damage Kaido at all this arc. Like, the main point of him fighting Katakuri was to learn how to use Future Sight. Something like Rio's not even on the table yet, so I don't think he has a real win con versus Dragon Katakuri. However, with that said, I think Luffy would land a lot more hits on Katakuri because he wouldn't be able to use his Future Sight to just dodge hits like this. But wait, never mind, because we did see Kaido in his giant dragon form using Future Sight to avoid Snake Man punches. And I'm not saying Katakuri's Future Sight's as good as Kaido. This is still one of the best speed feeds we've seen in the series. That's insane. How do you turn into a bigger target to dodge punches? But things like Luffy's normal punches in Gear 4, I'm pretty sure Katakuri can dodge all of that in his hybrid form, normal form, and even the dragon form. But since Katakuri doesn't have Haki on the level of Kaido, he would still struggle to put Luffy down the same way Luffy would be struggling to put damage on Katakuri. Even people like Flampe that got involved in this fight, Katakuri wouldn't really be able to hurt himself by stabbing himself, right? Or at least he wouldn't do as much damage as he did right here. Katakuri at this point would be suffering from success. Like, man, I can't even up the fight versus Luffy no more. But considering that they kind of double KO'd themselves, and then when Katakuri got up and he asked Luffy, are you going to come back? And Luffy told him, yeah. Then Katakuri laid back down. I'm pretty sure like he could have kept fighting here if he like really wanted to fight for Big Mom. So he would probably just end up letting Luffy leave at some point, because deep down Katakuri understands Luffy's not that bad of a dude. Not just that, Katakuri respects him a lot. So I can see Katakuri letting Luffy get the win and letting him leave the same way he kind of already did in canon. He would just have way less damage on his body. But considering Haki does bloom in extreme battles, this fight would elevate him to who knows what heights. With Big Mom no longer being in charge of Whole Cake Island, he would be the de facto emperor, and he wouldn't need somebody else to take his spot like Buggy. He would elevate and take that emperor spot himself. And I'm not gonna put it up here, but even in the God Valley flashback, Saturn's like, yo, we might have just released something kind of crazy, and we see Kaido's devil fruit flying off into the distance. But I hope that answers the question.